All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to do our AFC North rankings post free agency. So let's get right into that. So we're going to start off at number 4. Number 4, I have the Cleveland Browns. So the Browns this offseason, they acquired Kenny Pickett via trade. They just recently signed Joe Flacco. They signed Jerome Baker, DeAndre Carter, Malik Collins, Devin Bush, former Steeler. The Browns only won 3 games last year. Now, the reason why I have them last is because the quarterback position. Like Joe Flacco took them on a magic carpet ride a couple years ago, but that was, he only played, 5 or 6 games? Joe Flacco's not going to start over the course of a 17-game season. And then, you got Kenny Pickett. I think Kenny Pickett can win you some games, but not that much. So, and I don't know what they're going to do with their running back situation. They still have Jerome Ford, I believe. But Nick Chubb's not coming back. Again, we'll see how the draft goes. But right now, I got them number 4. Just because when it comes to the Steelers, their quarterback situation might not be great at the moment. But we're still waiting on, Aaron Rodgers and what his deal is, if he's going to sign with the team. Is he going to sign? I think he is. Everybody's kind of like, why is he taking so long? But, yeah, he's going to sign. I think, he's probably still holding out hope that the Vikings, maybe come back and say, you know what, we'll give you a shot. Because supposedly Aaron Rodgers made a pitch to them, but I guess they weren't interested. So we'll see. Or maybe they told them they're going to think about it, and we just don't know that. I don't know. But, yeah, so the Steelers and the Browns are kind of in the same spot. I think the Browns will win more than 3 games next year. I think they will be more competitive. But I don't know. The Steelers, to me, the Steelers haven't finished with a losing record with Mike Tomlin. They're somehow going to find a way to win, 8 or 9 games. Now, 8 will give them a losing record, but they're going to finish around 500. The Browns, I don't know what's going to happen with them. They could win 11 games like they did a couple years ago. They could win 3 like they did last year. It's just, we'll see. Look, Myles Garrett, they got him to agree to a long-term extension, so you still have him. They got to try to stay healthy because they deal with a lot of injuries on the offensive line. I think they're going to end up taking Travis Hunter with the number 2 pick. So that'll help on, the offensive and defensive side of the ball. I think this team is still good, but it's just the quarterback position. Steelers, it's more just, track record. Like, hey, they finished around 500. They finished over 500 despite, the quarterback position not being great. Although the defense is getting older, but I do like the DK Metcalf trade. You add another weapon to that offense that was much needed. Although they do need to improve the running game. They, lost Najee Harris, which I expect them to address the running back position in the draft. I know they did. Well, they also signed Kenneth Gainwell from the Eagles. But yeah, they signed Darius Slay. They signed Malik Harrison, linebacker. Darius Slay is now going to be in the secondary. So, yeah, once we see what's going to happen with quarterback, we'll get a better image of the Steelers next year. But, yeah, right now I got them. I'll put them at 3. I actually will put the Bengals at 2. Now, the Bengals played better down the stretch last season. The Steelers were the opposite. The Bengals won down the stretch. The Steelers lost down the stretch. They lost their final 5 games. If the Bengals defense could be competent next year, they could be average. The defense could be average if, they don't get off to these slow starts. This team is going to make the playoffs next year. Had they not have lost to the Patriots, first game of the year, they'd be in. But they didn't make. But they only put up 10 points. And now Jamar Chase is taken care of. T. Higgins is taken care of. Contracts are taken care of. This offense was one of the best in the league last year. And I think, if everybody's healthy, that's the key thing, right? You always say it. The offense stays healthy, they're going to be good. And they really didn't do that much. They really, other than re-sign their guys. I mean, they re-signed B.J. Hill, Joseph Asai, Cam Sample. They signed T.J. Slayton, a defensive tackle, Marco Wilson, a corner, Warren Burks, linebacker. They signed him. They brought back Samaje Perine to back up Chase Brown, who was good for them last year. So yeah, nothing major. Their major moves are going to come through the draft. And I think for the Bengals, you have to go defensive heavy with this draft. Pass rushers, linebackers, corners, safeties, you name it. Draft starters for your defense, draft depth, all that. It's really that and maybe the offensive line that I have my, issues with the team. Well, offensive line more so is a maybe. Defense, that was the big concern last year. But yeah, obviously you want to keep Joe Burrow upright. So if there's, an offensive lineman maybe they take later, we'll see. But yeah, I got them at 2. And then I got the Ravens. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley. They re-signed Ben Cleveland, a couple of their offensive linemen. They re-signed Patrick Ricard. They brought in Cooper Rush, backup quarterback. Like that move. They brought in DeAndre Hopkins on a 1-year deal. It's going to be the wide receiver 3 behind Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman. I mean, low risk, high reward. He scored some touchdowns for the Chiefs last year when they traded for him. Not the same player he once was, but I think he could still get the job done, especially in the red zone. So, yeah, and obviously you got Lamar Jackson, who was the runner-up to Josh Allen for MVP. I expect Lamar to go out there and have another good year. I know they came up short in the playoffs, but yeah, I mean, I think Lamar's going to go out there and have a good year. And of course, you have Derrick Henry back there. He's reunited with DeAndre Hopkins. They spent 1 year together in Tennessee. So, yeah. You got to like where the Ravens are at right now. They also extended John Harbaugh this offseason. But yeah, I think this is the Ravens' division to lose. And when Lamar Jackson is healthy, they're the best team in the division, usually. Last year I think was the first time that both quarterbacks were healthy the whole year. Because in Burrow's first year, his rookie year, he got hurt, season-ending knee injury. Lamar Jackson was banged up the next 2 years, and then 2023, Joe Burrow had the wrist injury. Last year was the first year that, they were healthy the whole time. But Bengals still finished 9-8. But I think they will be better next year. I'm still banking on them to be a better team. And, yeah. So, we'll see how it goes. But to go through my rankings again, Browns 4, Steelers 3, Bengals 2, Ravens 1. DK Metcalf was one of the major moves, other than extensions. That was probably the biggest move, right, of all the teams. Yeah, and then we'll see, if they bring in Aaron Rodgers, the Steelers do, then that'll probably dethrone that. But, now it's a draft. When it comes to these teams and what they need in the draft, I think the Browns are a team that could take a running back at some point, more offensive, a quarterback, we'll see what they do there. Running back at some point in the draft. Quarterback at some point during the draft. Travis Hunter might be who they take unless it's Abdul Carter. The Steelers, they signed Aaron Rodgers, but they still kind of need a long-term answer at quarterback. Jackson Dart, I know, has been connected to them. Another team that needs a running back. The Bengals, I said, all defense, offensive line, maybe. Ravens, Ravens secondary. Ravens secondary, because they were really good against the run last year. Against the pass, they got better, but they could address that. Also, maybe on the offensive line, maybe another receiver. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the AFC North. So tomorrow we will cover the AFC South, and then Friday will be the AFC West, and then that'll be it for the post free agency rankings. And then next week is draft week. I keep saying that, but yeah. So appreciate you guys tuning in today. I apologize for the late start. I was trying to get my dog back in the house because I wanted to, just make sure that, she was in the house while I was doing the show because no one else is home, and she was giving me a bit of an issue, so that's why we had a little bit of a late start here. But she doesn't listen at times, but no, we worked things out. She finally listened and came back in, so that's why we were a little late. But yeah, appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure to check out all the other shows as well. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to both YouTube channels, wherever you get your podcasts as well, whether you're on the go or not. You can listen to us on Spotify, Apple Music, like I said, wherever you get your podcasts. And we appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day. So until next time, I am Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.